Namaste. I am feeling super called to share with whoever feels called to listen about love, and specifically self-love, and how important it is to love and accept ourselves. A few days ago, there was a shooting in Colorado, and it really spoke to me in a lot of ways. And even though every day we don't see each other's pain, recognizing that the pain exists, and so creating a loving awareness towards that pain instead of choosing to create an identity based on it. To be honest, it's super weird. That's okay. I think it's like more just like relaxing into this new experience, something I'm completely uncomfortable with, and holding loving space for myself, unconditional love, no judgment, and recognizing when I do that for myself, I'm an example for others to do it for themselves. So, may we all rise through the darkness together. I feel it's very important to share with each other, perhaps or at least for myself, my personal experience, to shed a little light on others' experience in this moment, so that we don't feel so alone with ourselves and our minds, when we recognize that we have the power to choose how we'll respond to situations that arise through each moment, whether they're exterior or interior. and giving love to those thoughts, giving love to our surroundings and environment. Instead of judging the self. One of my biggest things is that loving my body and accepting my body exactly the way I am. And I feel a lot of us can relate to that. And so it's important to celebrate each other and ourselves, and to accept ourselves, love ourselves unconditionally in these moments. So I know 5 years ago, 6 years ago, before I chose to become plant-based, I was in a really dark place of one could call it like substance abuse when it comes to consuming things, like just not caring about the body as much as what the environment was offering, and allowing for easy things to keep me from tapping into my truth. And I guess to elaborate what I mean by this is that, just like really indulging and not thinking about actions, and how when I would drink wine and have meat and continuously create this pattern of eating things that were unhealthy for my temple. This is also linked to a lot of things throughout society, like alcohol and drugs and all of those temptations that are out there. And so through my experience, I have a lot. And in this case, it was in Southern California, and I was 60 pounds heavier than I am now because I just completely lost sight of myself, and I was just involved with everybody else and what they were doing, and neglecting my temple's needs, having burritos at 2 o'clock in the morning, carne asada, fries, wine, beer, craft, all of this craft, but still recognizing that these things, when they add up, they don't serve our bodies very well. And so choosing to break those habits for me really changed my life. And also learning to accept myself instead of judging myself in the process of needing to allow time to heal, and not judging myself in the process of that. Although judgment arises, it's just becoming aware of the thought, and instead of attaching to it, it's, now I understand, is like having a loving awareness towards it and letting it go, and coming into this moment with full appreciation for the self, full appreciation for exactly the way our bodies look, how we feel, choosing to accept ourselves and to love ourselves, and then make healthy choices. That sure, some other people are not making those conscious choices for themselves. It's absolutely true. And also, none of us are perfect, so there's no judgment to each other. It's just recognizing when these past patterns arise, giving love to them, and then beginning again with introducing things that are healthy for the body, that alleviate stress and anxiety and depression, by choosing to become active, whatever activity feels good to you. You could do yoga, breath work, Qigong is a fantastic exercise I highly recommend. Meditation, looking at a flower, these simple things really bring us into the moment and a greater appreciation for ourselves, and to love ourselves a little more in every moment. Seize the opportunity to be your best mother and your best father. Recognize if someone says something mean to you, maybe they're having a hard day, and to not take it so personally. I remember working in Southern California, I would get all the time comments, because I was a waitress, on my acne. I had chronic cystic acne at the time. Now I'm healing, in the process of healing and loving myself. But it's in every moment that someone would say something to me that would hurt my feelings or offend my ego, I instantly took that opportunity to love myself and accept myself even more. To recognize that just because someone says something, that doesn't make it my truth. It just is. And if it makes it easier, I enjoy laughing at things. And I suggest we all laugh a little more to alleviate the tension, the pain. I feel it's so important, especially with what we've seen recently happening around our world, with one another hurting each other, to embody the love, embody the change we wish to see, to accept ourselves and be kind to one another, recognizing that when we choose to be kind to someone, it doesn't have to be someone in our immediate social bubble, just an absolute stranger. Choosing to be kind creates ripples that we cannot know, but only trust have a positive effect on ourselves and our environment around us. And recognizing that those ripples can change someone's day and change someone's decision to hurt someone else. And when we understand that power that we have to create loving, lasting change, it's pretty radical, if you ask me. That we have the power to choose to be loving and kind to, most importantly, ourselves, accepting and loving ourselves, and then extending that love to one another without judgment. Our world needs a little more love, a little more compassion, a little more kindness. And we have the power to embody that, give that to ourselves. When thoughts of the inner critic come through, some people say the monkey mind, these are not our truth. We do not have to choose to create them as our truth. They arise, and we have the power to let them go. We have the power to not judge ourselves in our processes of becoming, of learning, of expanding and growing into who we feel like we want to be in this world. I just want everyone to know that no matter where your journey begins, you are so loved and so capable of loving yourself. And you are so important in this world. And I hope you can choose to see that. I hope we can choose to see the way that we inspire one another, the way that when we are our true and authentic selves, how free we become to love ourselves and accept ourselves and do that for one another. And so, through my experience, I know it takes time. Whatever it is that you're going through, it takes time. But in this moment, we could just be here and take a deep breath and appreciate our awareness to wanting to make positive change and surrendering to that time to love ourselves, that time to recognize mind patterns that aren't serving us, and to let those habits go. I remember I would, for the longest time, not want to go I don't want to say not want to go out, but just didn't feel comfortable in my body. And as soon as I started to, instead of focusing on what I didn't like and shifting my focus to what I appreciate now and what I want to achieve, that's when change really began to happen in my life. Instead of judging myself and my body fat or the acne or stretch marks or anything that my mind could possibly judge my body, when I choose to let those judgments go and to accept myself where I am now, to love myself where I am now, and recognize I have the power to choose to not take the alcohol if I don't feel like it. If I feel like it, great. If I don't feel like it, I don't have to. I don't have to eat something because it makes you feel comfortable. If I know it doesn't serve my temple. And I feel sometimes we have that impression on one another. Oh, drink the beer because I'm drinking. Eat the pizza because I'm eating the pizza. But at some point, we have the power to choose how we want to treat ourselves. Whether those food groups are serving our bodies in the highest way, or are there alternatives to the medications that we're told help with chronic diseases? Preventative care is an amazing alternative to having something affect or physically manifest in our body in a dis-ease or an illness, recognizing instead of getting to that point, how about we just surrender to the deeper knowing that no, Coke doesn't do us any good, and so we choose not to consume that, whether we're talking about the drug or the soda. It's basically one and the same. When we recognize that sugar is as addicting as many hard drugs, that's a huge step in conscious awareness of recognizing that we have the power to choose how I want to treat myself and how I want to love myself. And knowing that nature has a natural intelligence to heal our bodies from the inside out. That we're born with a natural intelligence. Do not have to repeat negative patterns and to become aware of them and let them go. And then to love the self and accept the self even more every time we recognize I pray that we all, as individuals, can love ourselves and accept ourselves because we're all created in a divine, beautiful way. I pray that we don't judge each other based on our appearances. That we recognize that we're one love.